On the morning of July 5, 2017, a man was working on his computer in his villa in Bangkok. He was a multimillionaire with a luxurious lifestyle, driving a sports car. Online, he was known only as Alpha02. That morning, he heard a loud crash coming from outside his villa. A woman had crashed her Toyota Camry into the main gate of his property. Concerned, the man went down quickly to see what had happened. What he didn't know was that this would be the biggest mistake of his life. The woman was, in fact, a Thai police officer. The FBI and the DEA had been waiting for this moment for a long time. Authorities from 7 different countries had collaborated in this operation to capture the king of the dark web. It was the early 2000s and the deep web was starting to gain ground. With the promise of a freer market, where users could buy autonomously, without institutional control, the deep web became fertile ground for criminals. The currency powering this new economy was Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency that promised anonymity and security. In February 2011, the Silk Road market appeared online. In a short time, it became one of the main hubs for trafficking drugs and illegal goods, reaching tens of thousands of users. However, its success came to an abrupt end 2 years later, when its founder was arrested by the authorities. He was sentenced to life imprisonment, and Silk Road closed forever. But the business was too profitable, and soon new competitors emerged. One in particular stood out. Its name was Evolution. This market had a specific payment model. Buyers sent their datos to the platform, and once they received the products, the payments were transferred to the sellers. However, one day, the site owners decided to steal all the gaitas and disappear. This practice is called exit scam. That void created the perfect opportunity for a new player to emerge. AlphaBay. In 2014, a man known online as Alpha02 launched the site, which quickly became the largest illegal market on the dark web. On AlphaBay, you could buy everything: drugs, weapons, credit cards, and much more. But there were also limitations. Human trafficking was not allowed. Hitman or Russian credit card data, probably to make authorities think the founder was Russian. The platform accepted payments in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Monero. It also offered a Tumblr-like service that mixed user funds to hide transaction trails. Over the course of a year, AlphaBay reached more than 200,000 users worldwide, 40,000 vendors, and more than 300,000 listings, with a turnover exceeding $500,000 daily. Alpha02 earned a commission on every transaction, between 2% and 4%, quickly becoming a multimillionaire. After amassing a fortune, he decided to disappear. He changed his alias to admin and handed control of the market to another user, named Death Snake. Authorities began focusing on his identity, but the manhunt lasted years. Law enforcement and the agencies of intelligence began focusing on the AlphaBay's service to find clues that could reveal the identity of Alpha02. The transactions were masked through an intricate system of servers distributed worldwide, making it difficult to trace their origin. However, investigators began collecting evidence by buying drugs and other goods on the market to track the sellers. But that only led to small fish. Far from the king of the deep web, everything seemed useless until, in December 2016, Robert Miller, an FBI investigator, received an anonymous email that contained an old welcome message sent to the first users of AlphaBay. Thanks to the email metadata, they managed to track the real address of the sender. Although the error had been fixed, the email was probably saved and forwarded by a rival of AlphaBay. They obtained the sender's address. That email led to the real name of Alpha02, Alexandre Cazes. They led agents to his LinkedIn profile, where they discovered he was a freelancer and software designer. His social media activity was linked to a Thai woman living in Bangkok, who turned out to be his wife. The location of the king of the deep web had been identified. He was right there in the Thai capital, Bangkok. 3 residences were registered in his name in the city, 2 of which were used mainly for job interviews, and 1 seemed to be his main home with his wife. Investigators began monitoring his daily routine. He woke up early, checked his social media, worked a few hours, and then went out to dinner with his wife. A simple routine for the king of the dark web. On July 5, 2017, the big day arrived. The operation to arrest Alexandre Cazes was finally ready thanks to an international arrest warrant. The FBI, the DEA, and the Thai police had carefully planned the assault. A Toyota Camry, driven by a Thai police officer, turned onto the street of his residence and, pretending to make a maneuver, crashed the car into the villa's gate, making the incident look accidental. The noise of the impact was intended to alert Cazes, causing him to come out of the house and make a fatal mistake, leaving his computer on. If he had turned it off or encrypted it, the authorities would have had great difficulties extracting the necessary data. Cazes, rushing out, approached the Toyota with his phone in his hand, but at that moment he was surrounded by the agents. He attempted a desperate escape, probably to turn off his laptop, but was immobilized. The agents ran towards the house and found his laptop still on. They managed to access the data and found the credentials to enter AlphaBay's systems, and his fortune, worth $23 million, was confiscated, along with houses, luxury cars, and millions in cryptocurrencies. His wife was arrested on money laundering charges. A week later, on July 12, 2017, Alexandre Cazes was found dead in his cell. He had committed suicide. The king of the dark web was dead, but his story became legend. Now that the king is gone, a new competition has opened to determine who will be the next ruler of the deep web. A possible successor could be Snake, who in 2021 relaunched AlphaBay and continues to run it to this day. The deep web is not only a haven for illegal activities, it is also a space of freedom. Journalists, activists, and citizens of repressive regimes use it to communicate and share information without censorship, protected by anonymity.